I have been using action cameras for the past 2 years, and I wanted to answer one simple question. What makes an action camera good? I will split this video into 3 categories, starting from reliability comes first, mostly because I think that a camera that you cannot trust is not worth having in your bag. And unfortunately, some action cameras do suffer from some reliability issues. For instance, love is... No, I guess we'll never know what love is. Oh god, this is dirty. All of the action cameras have batteries that are usually rated to be 0 degrees Celsius, which is fine for the most part, but at least here in Lithuania you usually get weathers that go way below that number, and this is where the issues usually start. Either your battery doesn't hold anymore, or it just does not allow you to record any higher resolution than 1080p. Hello. So this is the first time in Ostrava. I'm from Lithuania. We just hitchhiked.
Lithuania?
Yeah.
Tai galim ir lietuviškai susišnekėti.
Ai, taip, mes galim lietuviškai susišnekėti.
Wow, okay,
Yes.
ką tu čia darai?
Ar tu irgi iš Lietuvos?
Ne, aš tik lietuvių kalbą studijavau.
I actually had a camera crash on me when it was minus 13 degrees. While yes, that's way lower than the battery is rated, I think it's still important to keep in mind that these things can happen and will happen. One of the most common issues is actually troubleshooting your camera while you're doing some crazy stuff is one of the worst things that can happen to you. And unfortunately, many action cameras suffer from overheating. The Action 1 has been the most stable camera that I have, but unfortunately, the camera that I use as my head cam, the Action 2, has suffered from overheating extensively. It has overheated on me so many times that I cannot even count, and it has caused so much frustration that I thought of returning the camera at one point. One way I found to remedy this is to record at a lower resolution and lower frame rates. So when I use my head cam, I usually shoot at 2.7K at 30 FPS. While it still looks great, I miss 60 FPS most of the times. But whenever they advertise super high resolutions such as 8K, 5.3K, you just have to keep in mind that these resolutions might not be as stable as you think, and are mostly a gimmick at best. Which brings me to ease of use, which is extremely important but often overlooked. The menus must be kept as simple as possible, so as soon as you pull out the camera, you are able to start recording and have your footage as you go. Otherwise it gets extremely frustrating, because when you're in a moment, last thing you want to do is fiddle with your camera settings or try to adjust something that you don't even know what it is. A device that is a hassle to use will probably stay in your backpack, so it's important that it's as simple and easy to use as possible. Simplicity doesn't mean it's better. It also means that you lose some functionality that you otherwise would have. For instance, I have 2 Osmo action cameras. Both of them have a touchscreen, but none of them actually have touch to expose, meaning that exposure jumps around, dramatically changes in the weirdest spots ever. There is no way for me to prevent that happening. At some points it just looks ridiculous. What the fuck? Vos ne ant manęs. Ar ten viskas gerai? There is one simple thing that's often overlooked: storytelling. If you want to make a great video, it's usually not the camera that makes it great. Of course, having a good camera helps you out a bit. But at the same time, if you don't have a message, you're probably not gonna deliver it to anyone. So I think it's more important to have a message that you want to deliver through a video than it is to have a better camera. Hebra, gal nematė telefoną kur nors? Taip, ką tik grįžom. Ten labai yra nestabilu ir nesaugu, iškart sakau. 8, 6, 8. Skamba. Seni. Galėjo būt taip blogai.
Bet kaip mes turit YouTube kažkokį? Bet kaip mes?
Tiesiog Alex. While it does sound cliché, friends that you meet along the way are the people who are gonna make your videos better. I think I might even be able to reach it with a flashlight. Nah, doesn't reach. Sometimes it's extremely exhausting. Sometimes you have to adjust to their schedules. Sometimes you have to sacrifice your own schedule. But once you do, in the end it's worth it. Not only do you meet them, you get to know them as a person, they also get to know you as a person. And sometimes they shine a light on some parts of you that are not that good. And it's important to see them. Not only for you, but for others too. Sometimes it's not even worth talking about resolutions, whether it's worth it to shoot at 1080p or 2.7K, mostly because it's just too dark and you wouldn't even be able to see the details. Just like sometimes you can't see the details of your own character. That music sounds so weird.
It says, let the ground or like earth be light for him.
And sometimes it gets pointed out in the worst ways possible. And that's okay. Sometimes you fuck up. Sometimes you just wanna say, I'm sorry. In conclusion, action cameras are amazing travel cameras.
Interesting car.
What would you expect?
Sometimes it's awkward having them on your head. But surprisingly, people don't notice it too much and they stay the same as they always are. Which is great, because if you point a phone at them, they start getting tense.
The same distance as we basically arrived there from Warsaw. So we thought maybe we
So I guess that's what action cameras are for.
in a bus so we wouldn't have to
Action.
go for a house. I think yes, maybe it will be somewhere here.
I wouldn't focus on resolutions too much, or the frame rates. I would focus on the story, and what message do you want to send to the world. And you will create a great video either way, whether it be a good camera, or a pink camera off of AliExpress for €6. I think there is value in creating, whether someone sees it or not. I think it's just important to create something. Maybe all you needed to create is just a memory.
All the best, all the best. Enjoy.
Goodbye.
Ciao, ciao. Let me know how are you doing.
Okay. Goodbye.